Hello folks, I hope you can see me, hear me clearly. I hope the audio and video are looking fine. I'm just going to speak for a few minutes, few seconds to make sure that the tech is working fine, with the audio, video both are working fine. We're operating in all kinds of remote ideas. So I hope things are fine. I'm going to wait for about 30 seconds, 45 seconds to get feedback from you guys saying audio is fine, video is fine, all good. Then we'll go. We've asked for a bunch of questions from students from YouTube and Facebook and all other places. So we have a bunch of questions that we are looking to address. I'm going to attack those. Give me about 25 minutes for that. Chances are quite a few of things that you have in mind will get automatically covered. We'll knock that off, keep it aside, and then we'll go on to questions from chat. Maybe we'll break it up a little bit, maybe do about 10-15 minutes of questions, about 5-10 minutes of Q&A chat from YouTube, and 10 more minutes of this, then open to questions. We'll look to cover pretty much whatever we need to do for the next 50-55 minutes, what should be done in the next 5 months. I hope audio and video are all good. Audio and video good, wonderful, wonderful. I'm gonna start straight away. Good evening to all of you. Good to catch up. These are tough times. I think things are a little better than even 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I think 4 weeks ago we were all not thinking about anything beyond are near and dear and keeping this monster at bay. Now I think we're that much more relaxed about our day-to-day. We're so to say we are in our between waves phase, not in a wave phase. And so we're going to have this for a while yet. I think we're going to be talking about waves and lockdowns for a while yet. I think it'll become more and more local, more and more contained within regions, within geographies, within industries, within spaces. And not be nationwide and international, but we're going to live with this. We're going to learn to live with this more than tackle it in any form. The tackling part, thanks to vaccines and thanks to the language of lockdown, we know. But living with this and doing that day to day, that's what we're going to do. Lovely. Enough about the virus. I'm going to go talk about what we have here. Before we do all that, there's a fabulous 5,000 rupee offer running on the next 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Do check that out. Check out the course. Sign in. If you're not a trial user, become a trial user. Check that out. If you're already a trial user, take the time out to check out and validate the content. Tons of stuff is available for free. You must take that half an hour, 45 minutes out and then evaluate it. You have to see whether it works for you. And that's super crucial. Please do take that time out and do that. And before I forget, before Bharat and Nakim and all of them start sending me messages saying you forgot this, please like this video. Please subscribe to this our channel. Please spread the word around. So we are one of those completely organic, hard-booted, bootstrapped entities. So we're a small number of people where we say, hey, we'll do something interesting on YouTube, we'll do something interesting on Facebook and Quora. We don't play by the book and do a bunch of tricks to follow. We don't buy likes, we don't honk. So we need all the help we can get. We can't spend it through dollars. We can grow only thanks to the way our subscribers and our students, the CAT aspirant community kind of looks out for us. So please do look out for us. Please keep an eye out for us. Spread the word about us. Every year I get a ton of emails saying, hey, I couldn't buy any of your courses, but your question bank really helped me. Your YouTube channel helped me. Your previous year CAT papers, they made a difference. And it fills us with no small amount of joy. It's a thrilling feeling and a humbling feeling. We'll continue to put questions and tons of content on our YouTube channel and question bank for free. We are philosophically committed to that, so we will keep doing that. But as like a barter system, please spread the word about us. Please tell people about us. Please tell people, hey, we don't even have to buy the course. Go check out their question bank. It's worth its weight in gold. I know it is true, but probably you guys have checked it out, so you know that I'm not fibbing. But it's becoming tougher and it's intensely competitive, and there's about 3 years ago we were competing with other companies. Now we're competing with bigger dollars, and it's annoying. So please do help us out. Wonderful. I'm going to go to the prepared end of this. See this. How to prepare for all 3 sections simultaneously. Managing a 9-to-5 job. Having some form of discipline, some form of routine definitely helps. Earmark a day where you will take mocks. From now on, mocks are a very integral part of your preparation. You must say, every fortnight or every week on this day I'm going to take mock and analyze that. So that is one day kept aside for mock and analysis. Make sure you get your 1 hour of daily reading every single day. That's not negotiable. So you either squeeze it in the morning 6 to 7 or during your mid-afternoon lull in your office where you're really pretending to go through serious research report, but you're actually practicing for your own exam. Keep that there or finish it off in the night. But that 1 hour of reading is not negotiable. You'll have to, if you're doing the heavy lifting for Quant, where you're learning topic by topic, then you must keep in mind that Quant needs more time to take in the fundamentals, to consolidate the idea, to get some basic practice in, and then amp up to CAT level. So lion's share of the time you spend in hardcore preparation is going to be Quant led. So keep your reading as a filler, keep mock as 1 day a week, then fill the rest with Quant. You must have some notion of discipline and say, okay, these 100 minutes, this 2 hours, I'm going to prepare every day. Or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm doing evening 7 to 9. Tuesday, Thursday, I'll do morning 6 to 7 because I have something else in the evening. That's all right. But you must have some schedule for sure. Keep that in mind. Discipline will take you places. Not just a motivational hit that you get every now and then. You need to have a grind, a drill, a baseline that discipline takes you to. Then the cherry on top of the cake, because you saw that beautiful goal in Euros, you feel like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can't sleep now. I know it's 11:30, but I simply can't sleep now because I've just watched this beautiful match. I'm going to bank it and I'm going to solve 25 questions. That cherry on top of the cake, some ambient motivation, inspiration can provide you, but discipline sets the groundwork. So have a schedule for sure. Those of you who are putting questions in, hang on. I'm going to do at least 15 minutes of the prepared questions. Then I'll have a look at it. Don't type in a lot of questions now because I'm not looking at the chat window right now because students have taken effort and filled in and sent the questions. That is one. So we need to respect that. One. Number two, chances are quite a few of what you're talking about is going to get covered. So unless there's something outlandish, this should cover what you're thinking about. If not, we'll do questions. Right? So don't spend too much time typing questions right now. Preparing for CAT with job and how important is work experience in B schools admissions. And so, preparing with job is more than half the aspirants prepare with job. More than 80% of people entering a B school are the ones without a job. And so it's not a problem unique to you. So shed this burden of, oh, I am burdened with purpose, that I have a noble job to go for. So don't burden yourself with purpose. Don't burden yourself with the idea that you alone are doing a job where the rest of the world is gallivanting. That's not happening. And so this is a level field. This is the reality of our life. And so the guys who have cracked this exam and who prepare well, who do several things diligently, are the ones who have managed to do this along with a job. And so if you account for what you do on a weekly basis and you say, look, 60 hours I spent sleeping, and then the remaining I work some hours, for 45 hours, 50 hours I work, 10-15 hours goes in admin, you'll still realize that about 35 hours minimum, bare minimum that you have with you, which you're banking in assorted different things. Do that and then beat down the just ambient wasted time. You're just scrolling through a bunch of messages late in the night, or you waste precious morning hours going through WhatsApp and clearing everything out. So build that discipline where you say, look, I'm not going to touch my phone for the first 2 hours after I wake up. I'm going to do my CAT preparation, then touch my phone. There's nothing that's so urgent that's come from the phone that you have to wake up and touch that straight away. So find those killer wasted hours and nail them and sink about 60% of them into CAT. You'll have buffer time and you'll be smiling. And so wherever you can find in time to squeeze in reading, use that. So if you're waiting at a dentist's place, you're waiting for your boss to come in to have your appraisal meeting, pick up your phone, read article after article. That is good. Reading is a classic filler. You can switch on about reading in 15 seconds time and you can shut it down in 4 seconds once your meeting starts. So make sure you use reading as a filler time, but otherwise come back to some discipline and beating down on that completely wasted time. You can do it and you must do it. How important is work experience in B school admission? Super important, super important. It's one of the 5 main things that go into the pot. Class 10, class 12, undergraduation score, work experience, CAT score. It's super important. Does this mean guys with no experience have no chance? Of course not. Work experience, get some points, but you can claw that back with a good CAT score. But so those of you who are thinking, look, I need to prepare for CAT, so should I quit my job? Don't. One, you're going to lose out on work experience points. Second, more crucially, you'll have a lot riding on the CAT exam, and therefore that amps up pressure. especially in this last lap, handling pressure is going to be super crucial. So if you're sitting at home and saying, look, I'm going to prepare for 60 hours a week for CAT, there isn't that much to cover preparation ground-wise. You'll take 1 mock, 2 mocks, you'll see your mock score going little up or little down, and then you'll start interpreting every little variable. There is an ambient randomness everywhere, and so let it be there. Sometimes you should agonize over a mock score, sometimes you should say, look, big deal, it didn't work this time, then leave it at that. So you should keep in mind that the job very frequently is the one that gives you sanity about knowing what to interpret and what not to interpret. And so therefore, don't think of the job as this perennially irritating thing. They pay you hopefully handsomely. They expect some amount of work in exchange for that. I can tell you almost everyone can create 30 hours a week, 20 hours a week outside of work to do something else. And I can tell you one more thing. We've had CAT aspirants working with us for 7, 8, 9 years now. I can tell you year after year I've noticed this. Our guys who deliver output, who are working more hours, who are doing more in terms of office work, they're generally the ones who manage to crack CAT as well. Why? Because they are per se more productive in the hours they use for either work or CAT preparation. So the guys who have slack in the system while they're working are the ones who struggle to use that slack for CAT preparation as well. Very, very rarely is a job a killer blow to CAT preparation. If that is the case, then the job is killer blow to your health and sanity. It's a toxic job. You must, in and of itself, quit the job. It has nothing to do with CAT preparation. Right? Can crack CAT in the remaining days we have. Definitely, most definitely. Absolutely no doubt in my mind. You have a lot of time. This exam, for someone who knows only the very basics, they need about 400 hours of preparation, and 400 hours of preparation in 5 months is very much possible, very much possible. You don't have to quit your job, you don't have to put everything on hold, you don't have to feel like the burden of the world is on you. You can mix and match some things, sacrifice the odd streaming binge watch thing, the vague party that you really don't need to go to, the viewing of a highlight thing, and the 7th hour this week on YouTube, and then you're good to go. I'm telling you all this because I've been doing a bunch of these things, and so I must do this caveat straight away. I'm no saint. I'm probably more vulnerable to a bunch of these temptations than many of you are. But hey, I'm not preparing for a competitive exam. Keep that in mind. So one, don't imagine that I'm giving all this gyan because of the extent of stoic discipline I have in my life. I don't. Right? So I'm trying to add it. But we all have our bad days. Right? We all have our limitations and fallibilities and vulnerabilities. Right? That is part of life. Don't overcook that if you have a bad day or a bad week either. You need to have more discipline if you're going for a tough exam. No doubt about it. Absolutely no two ways about it. That is not negotiable. But you have that discipline and you manage your time better, this is very crackable. Keep it in mind. Look at this. What are the things that must be done daily no matter what? Reading. No matter what, reading. If I extrapolate it to weekly, mock comes in. The two things that are not negotiable are a rigorous mock schedule and a daily reading habit. These two are not to be compromised. You can have the odd 3-day break from Quant. Look, I'm not looking at Quant. DILR is not falling in place. I'm not doing any DILR for 10 days. All right. You must read every day. You must take a mock according to your schedule. If it's once a fortnight, it's once a fortnight. Soon enough, it should become once a week. So the mock discipline is not negotiable. The reading habit is not negotiable. Other things, sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days. Sometimes you do all your preparation over the weekends. Sometimes you spend 8-10 hours during the weekends because the weekday you can't manage time. That's all right. You must read, you must stick to a mock schedule. How to stay motivated when you see others solving the same question in a fraction of the time needed taken by you to solve it. It's a pain in the neck. Very often the guys are ultra quick. You must remember that there are some guys who are going to be gifted, some guys who have practiced, some guys who have gamed the system. And I find this too frequently. I used to get completely unnerved while handling sessions doing sessions on Facebook. It's not when I was preparing. This is when I was teaching 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. The guys on some of these places, they're brilliant, freakishly brilliant. And I used to be like, they're so far ahead of me. And then I used to take stock and say, okay, I'm still able to compete. What are they missing? Several of them miss out on a balance. They're doyens of permutation probability. They do that over and over again. They crank it up and they're masters at it. And then they'll keep on chasing that and miss out on freebies in profit and loss. Or I've known guys who will get nothing short of 99.9 in quant, but have not cleared CAT with a reasonable percentile for 5 years in a row. Because they're carried away with that strength. So you've got to be savvy. You've got to be the guy who's smart, who knows how to balance things. And there are several examples for this. If you look at international cricketers, and you love him or hate him, it's to be accepted that Mahendra Singh Dhoni has been one of the most successful batsmen and captains of the last decade or so, a little more than a decade. Right? If you look at Mahendra Singh Dhoni as a cricketer, as a batsman, he's severely limited. He can't play the seaming ball. He has a weird technique. He struggles with playing gracefully, elegantly. But the one thing that he's got is a monstrously good handle on conditions, on circumstances, on what the bowler is likely to bowl, on keeping that brain ticking over, having that balance, knowing which one to target, which one to shield, which bowler to unleash, that mechanism. So you don't need to have all the toolkit, but if you know how to play with the variables, you can crack this exam. Keep that in mind. So every time somebody is intimidatingly brilliant, smile and say, okay, guys, probably he'll be my classmate. Probably she'll be helping me out when I'm doing some obscenely tough statistics assignment. Let it slide. It's good to have these brilliant people to one, give us humility, to give us a sense of how quick one can be. I thought, oh my God, I'm operating at close to my best and he's beating me by 40% apparently without taking much effort. So good hat tip. So taking your stride. But remember that several of these people, they need to find balance. It's good to have that benchmark, but it's very crucial, super crucial to be not intimidated by it. And so this is not a tough exam. It's not a genius testing exam. You have your basics in place, you know your balance, you can get 98th percentile if you plan well and put your head down. And so sometimes you are exposed to this peer group influence probably too soon before you are ready. So prepare in an island, then benchmark with a peer group. If you're going to go into the benchmarking territory before you're prepared, then you're going to get beaten up. You don't know what that game is. You don't know how geared up they are towards that game. And then you tend to create end stories in your mind and say, look, mera to kuch chance nahi hai. And that having the belief is super crucial. So make sure that you prepare in an island and then go to these benchmarking fest, peer group fest. Pick up a couple of friends, smile and say, okay, still good. So what? I'll still compete with him in those 3 other things. Right? Let's do this. How to read an article of different strategies, mind map. I don't read questions and then read passage. It clutters my mind. It gives me some preconceived notions. It tells me what to look for. That takes something away from me. Read at your natural speed. Don't read too quickly. The number one mistake people do when handling RC is trying to read way quicker than their mind can digest. So I've seen several times that I finish the passage. I'm so amped up. And then I see the first question. I don't know the first thing to say to the passage. I've read everything. I've tried to retain. I remember the facts. I remember the names. But I have no clue about the essence of the passage. I don't. Now I'll have to read it all over again, slightly slower, so that I can pause and register and take it in. And so don't read at an unnaturally high clip. It just is unnerving. Read, take it in, then go to the question. Sometimes the tough passage you can't get back, you read again. That's all right. But don't amp up your reading and retaining, and it becomes a nightmare to handle it. Lovely. I'm going to take a pause and then look at a few questions and then I'll come back to this. Since so much material and suggestions, this is Katyani Kashyap, so much material and suggestions of books are available, how to choose which one to go with since it is overwhelming at times. Go with 2 IM suggestions. So click on YouTube and say suggested book. From 2 IM, there's a wonderful video. Suggested blog, there's a wonderful video. Go through Bharat's reading list. The sheer scope and range and variety there is phenomenal. Bharat picks an article every day and sends it across. He's curating it. He's making sure it's relevant, it ticks boxes. And so it's an easy thing. And sometimes when you go on a trip and you read one article and then the next and then the next, that's good too. Who asked you to restrict yourself to the reading list suggested by me? You find your reading list. You like one author, you like John Grisham, and you want to read 4 books from John Grisham in a row, or to you, friend, go for it. You like P.G. Wodehouse, and you should. And read 5 books from P.G. Wodehouse, that's also good. I don't read it all, but I get above 65 in VRC, that is good. But 2 things. One, sometimes you want to amp up your score and you want to go to 94, 95. Reading is super essential. 2, sometimes without the reading habit, if you're doing it, then you've picked up a bunch of tricks. But you're vulnerable to the odd googly. It's like they say in cricket, they say that some of tailenders look very good till they don't. What's meant by that is they're batting so solidly. Look like those guys got it covered. She's almost like a top order batsman. And then you look at the numbers and it turns out he has an average of 15. That means he's simply not ready to make those 5 adjustments against weaknesses, to have that concentration, that stamina, to think like a batsman and build an innings and construct something. Those are the things that the reading habit can add to you in our VRC context. So pick that up, it's never too late. Shresh Kakkar, this channel is gold. Thank you to him. Thanks a lot for the ringing endorsement. Sir, how would you, so this is Devi Datta, how would you try to subconsciously achieve not ruminating about targets or goals? Oh, I ruminate about targets and goals all the time. I've been on a fitness goal for several years now. And so it's a running joke in my house. My family, we take time to point out that I've not achieved any of my fitness goals. Look, as I keep saying, as I'm pains to say, several of what I share is from what I've seen from aspirants and what I'm trying to do. By no means am I even 25% of the journey there to setting myself to be agnostic to goals or achieve whatever I want to achieve. Right? That apart, that set aside, I tried to make it a habit of tracking input variables very aggressively. And that sometimes I shut off. This happens frequently in our office as well. I say, hey, our numbers are down, our traffic is down, our website engagement is down, our sales thing is down. Then we'll say, okay, hey, we're going to add these many pages, we're going to shoot these many videos, we're going to have these many live sessions, we're going to put so much wonderful content out there. Let's tick all of these boxes for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then come back and take stock. We cannot govern how many people come to our website every day, but we can govern how many videos go on our YouTube channel in 30 days. Let's govern that, this will follow. So we try to gear ourselves up towards input metrics. What can I track? I'll track that and execute and hope for the best. It might still not work, but it's at least it gives you focus. It gives you a clearly executable set of targets that are completely under your control. You have to make sure that these targets eventually drive those goals. They will. But when you're achieving these input targets, you cannot continuously ruminate over the output metrics because it's unnerving, it's stressful. I want to know where to focus right now for IIM Indoor. This is Parth Karbanda. We're going to have a session for IIM Indoor sooner or later before the exam. So we'll focus on that. Right now, don't chase new topics. Consolidate. Take as many mocks as possible. Internships required. This is Sublika Deshpande's internship required. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Sonak Paul, good morning. I require a percentile of 99 in DILR. Presently, I am able to solve 1 set in sectional test. See, it might be good enough because you're doing 1 in each test. You don't know unless you take a mock what it is in that context. Generally, if you do 2 sets in a 1 hour paper, you're flirting with way more than 90th percentile. 3 sets and you're flirting with 98, 99. So it might not, you might not be that far away. You can really take that decision only after you take, only you can take stock only after you start taking mocks. How to plan weekly, I'm going to cover that. Not able to decide what to go on. My only way to B school is to get a good percentile. I'm not able to decide a plan of action. We are covering that. So I'm going to go back to what we are covering because we are covering quite a few of these chunks in the forthcoming slides. So I'm going to come back here. What is the order of importance of different topics in Quant? This is super crucial, super crucial. Order of importance, first and foremost, is arithmetic. What I'll define by arithmetic: percentages, profit and loss, ratio, proportion, mixture, speed, time, races, simple interest, compound interest, pipe cisterns, work time. And then if you have the bandwidth, you can borderline topics, linear and quadratic equation, and exponents and logarithms. They can come both ways with algebra or with arithmetic. I would expand this expanded set, that's the holy grail. As a simple rule of thumb, half the questions or more come from this. You focus on only this, get all of them right, you're getting more than 98th percentile in quant. Say it's a 34 question paper for 1 hour. I'm going to prepare only for this. I'm going to attempt 17 questions or 19 questions that come from here over the 1 hour. If I finish in 55 minutes, I'm going to take rest. You attack that, you're guaranteed or more or less guaranteed more than 98th percentile. You finish this, then the 3 chunks that remain are algebra, which is linear and quadratic equations, polynomials, sequences and series, inequalities, functions, those topics. Then number system, factors, number of factors, HCF, LCM, number properties, all of that, along with permutation probability, modern math, set theory, that chunk. You can geometry is the obvious third chunk: geometry, trigonometry, mensuration, coordinate geometry. After arithmetic, if you branch into 3 parts, you can pick any one. My bias is toward geometry because it will nail geometry, trigonometry, mensuration, coordinate geometry. It's a big chunk of topics, and it takes a little bit longer to digest them because you have to do one more iteration. So arithmetic, then geometry, then number systems and modern math, or algebra, one before the other. That will be my order, but arithmetic in the back before you do anything else. How to use 2IM resources optimally for preparing for CAT, especially for DILR. If you're a 2IM student, and the script is pretty straightforward, hit the online course first. Take the course, handle the checkpoint quizzes, then take the prep edge quizzes. Then when you go to DILR, do the simple DI, simple LR, that is standalone DI, standalone LR. Practically, CAT does not test any question like this, but you need to digest those before you're ready for the bigger battles. Then for DILR, it's the variety and the thought process, the variety of puzzles that you solve, and engaging with the thought process and building them and amping them up. Those are the crucial things. So make sure you build some form of regularity into this. What is the most crucial thing for DILR for any aspirant, 2IM student or anything? Getting a sense of the level of difficulty and the type of question. The best place to do that is previous year CAT paper. The best place to check out previous year CAT papers is 2IM YouTube channel. Or every single question which has been tested by CAT in the last several years across all slots have been solved in all sections, especially for DILR, with detailed video solutions and discussing step by step and saying how do we come at a point, not just giving an answer dump. Go through that to get a level, a sense of what the level is. That's super crucial. And let's jump ahead, go ahead. How should I appear for 3-hour mock test, even though the maximum chances are this year too? It will be what the maximum chances are for. And so we don't know. 3-hour mock tests are good because they're likely to be the more available ones in the market right now. Last year was anomalous. There's no reason why this year should be different. To be very honest about it, 3-hour mock to 2-hour mock is an adjustment. But if you've taken 15 3-hour mocks and then they change it to a 2-hour format, then you take only 5 more 2-hour mocks after that, still good, still very good. So taking, sitting on the fence and telling yourself, look, pata hone de, 3-hour, 2-hour, ke baad main mock lena shuru karunga. It's an absurd excuse. The story that you're telling yourself, it doesn't matter. Take a bunch of 3-hour mocks. If you have access to a couple of 2-hour mocks, somebody is offering and they're available, take them as well. Take some mock. Some mock is better than no mock. Doesn't matter. How to build strength in certain sections or tips and suggestions for those who have performed badly in their first mock. First mocks are for getting run over. Getting run over completely. And so this is famous statement about elections. The first election is to lose. Second election is to defeat. Third one is to win. पहले चुनाव हारने के लिए, दूसरा हराने के लिए, तीसरा जीतने के लिए. I think it was made by, if I'm not mistaken, Kalyan Singh, then taken over as a quote, I think Arvind Kejriwal. Interesting. So the first 5-6 mocks are to be beaten up. The next set of 5-6 are to compete. Final ones are the ones where you amp up. What do I mean by beaten up? I have no clue what to do. I'm getting tired at the end of the first section. I feel like giving up in the middle of the second section. I completely lost my last 30 minutes. Hit a bunch of things, not even have a handle on this. That happens for first 5-6 mocks. It is super crucial to get beaten up so that you know that, okay, this is something going on. You get an overall picture. Next set of 5-6 is when you get your act right, but not your act complete. Where you feel like, look, I've I've got 99 percentile in VRC, I'm killing this paper, and then you get 90 in LRDI, I'm 72 in Quant. Next paper, it goes the other way around. Third one, you've got good balance, you've got good error rate, but you've got 85, 85, 85. You've become calm, become dull without realizing. You've been so worried about not making any mistakes that you've not taken any chances. Next one, you take chances, and then your error rate goes out of whack. So you have a 97 in one section, and then a 91 and 65 again. So you feel like the different parts you have a handle on, but they don't come together well. That happens for 5-6 marks. Then you get a handle. Then you say, look, I'm going to hang in there. I'm not going to give up. I'm bounce back better from section to section. I'll do well even if I tank a section. And I'll hang in there because now I'm used to this. I've taken 10 marks. 180 minutes is not a big deal for me. My body can handle it. My mind can handle it. Once you come there, then at that point, you're going to amp up from a good baseline. You know what this is about. You've got an overall picture. You know how the different moving parts work. Now you have to make sure that they all come together. You do well in Quant, you do well in VRC, you do well in DILR, you don't lose intensity, you don't get beaten up by fatigue, you don't make careless errors in judgment, and then add another 10% with an adrenaline rush because your mind is also now intense. Then hope where the cards fall, hope that everything falls in place during the exam. So that you will go to that phase, but getting beaten up with the first 5-6 marks, it's like it's just like part of the game, part of the drill. Get beaten up. I've seen guys who've got destroyed and got negative scores in sections, which they then go on to reach 99 plus very comfortably. So it's nothing. It's taken your stride. I'm going to go through the questions chat again, and then I'll come back. I think another 4 or 5 questions we have in our prepared thing. I'm going to go to this. But 85 in 10, 72 in 12, and 17 in engineering. Is ABC still possible? Tough, but possible. This is from Sid Zarora. When we are buying book for quant, is it necessary? If you've got yourself access to a good quant course, it's not necessary. If you bought some correspondence material, then buying an exclusive book perhaps is not necessary. There's lots of material available on the web. I don't know whether books really make that a big difference if you have already got a course. So how are you, Haritra Chaudhary? I'm good. Manchika Chabra, I've just started my preparation. Right now I'm having my summer vacation. I thought of solving 30 questions of Quant, but I'm not able to do even 10 questions when it comes to advanced level. It will be tough. You need to govern about how much fundas you have, whether you're able to understand all the solutions well, whether you're planting ideas into your head to hang in there. The first step of preparation is only learning to prepare, to getting geared to prepare. Suppose you're learning driving. I can tell you this, the first few days of driving practice, they're horrendous. I don't know if all of you have gone through this. The guy will say, Subha jao, traffic nahi hogi, and you start at 6:15. There's one more guy who's learning sitting in the back. And then this guy drives and you sit at the back. In this case, your hand doesn't move at all. At the end of your 25-minute thing, in an ideal way, you should be like, I'm learning a lot, I should do this. But you're so tired. You'll be like, yaar, tu le le, main piche baitha hu. The guy next to you is screaming his head off, saying, what are you doing? I want you to put the great clutch ko pakdo, kya kar rahe ho? So this lots of stuff happening, and it's freakishly tiring. The first time you do this for 10 days is to just get used to what's happening. And 6 kilometers is super tiring. No traffic, but you're tired. But then is when the confidence comes, when your muscle memory kicks in, where you're moving the gear and your leg on the clutch without processing every detail, where you're just checking the rear view mirror without tell your brain actively saying and engaging and saying, Mahabhi dekh lo. So all that starts happening. So the first 25 days of preparation is to get your body to start preparing. So the going will be very slow, ridiculously slow. Don't worry, you have to have faith in the process to say, okay, my speed is going to improve. And then my run rate comes. How many topics I can cover in a week, how many mocks I can take, how well I can do, all that comes because you're not that your rate, not that you're putting in more time, the rate at which you're covering topics amps up, but you have to have the faith initially. I'm taking my GMAT in October. How do I extend the preparation for CAT? This is, sorry, I forget the name. This is Ajay. If you're doing a GMAT in October, then your verbal is pretty much covered. Your quant fundamentals are covered. Hard boot topics for quant, which is going to be trigonometry, functions, a little bit more. Coordinate geometry, mensuration, a little bit more. Inequalities. Inequalities also gets covered in GMAT reasonably well. But the more algebra-driven, more heavy-duty topics, amp them up. You'll have to spend some more time in building speed because GMAT does not test the speed angle as much as CAT does. You have to have an exclusive preparation track for LRDI. That's 1/3 of the exam. That's practically not touched upon by GMAT. So if you're finishing it off in October, you should say, look, I'm going to amp up my LRDI in August. So that in the last lap, I can take mocks. You can't start by saying, okay, November 1, LRDI, here I come. You have to stick a pen on your GMAT preparation, stick a pin on your GMAT preparation and say, every day I'm going to do one LRDI set from August 15th to September 15th. That way you've digested 30 sets. You know what this game is, and you can pick up the pieces immediately after your GMAT is over. Exclusive preparation for LRDI and hard booting some topics in quant, bunch of mocks. That's the adjustment you need. Practicing 50 sums a day in quant good enough? Yes, it is good enough, but it's not like a quantity thing. You need to know whether the level of difficulty is good, which topics you are covering. You need to have a sense of ticking off topics and saying, I'm comfortable with this. It should be 50 questions with a plan. How to prep without coaching the internet? Internet, my friend. Go to the 2IM question bank, go through cover topic by topic. There's 100 days worth of preparation without a rupee paid already available there. Should probably be not telling people this. Do you teach yourself in your coaching? Most of the classes, almost entire course for our self-paced course I have taught. All the crucial topics only I teach. We have about 4 teachers who teach regularly. Only 3 of us who teach regularly, frequently. And we have, in some of the topics, these guys teach actually way better than I do. Good guys. Bharat, you all should know. Bharat is wonderful at covering the ground in arithmetic. Very often I sometimes skip some idea or go slightly quicker. Bharat never does that. Bharat has a good handle on covering the basics thoroughly. So we have a bunch of very good teachers. This is Sanket Vishwakarma. I have 2-year gap in my graduation. Scored 53% only. The 10th and 12th are good. Currently have a job offer. Is there any chance of getting into the IIM or FMS? You get a good percentile, then your discussion starts. We've had every year, we have students who have iffy profile, iffy break in academics. There's a blog article written, which is, I think, either already there or it's going to be there today, tomorrow, which talks about this. Iffy profiles can be overcome with good CAT score. You get 98th percentile, then almost all IIMs leaving out the top 6, 7 will call you. That's tons of good B schools. You can make a mark and build a glorious career even if you have had iffy academics. These things are done. They're in the past. You have a 2-year gap. There's probably a very good justification for why you have it. You can speak of that justification only if you get a seat in the interview hall. You can get that seat only if you score 98 percentile. Sit here and say, look, mera kya chances hai, and agonize over it, and you're beating yourself up and creating an avenue for an excuse. Even before throwing everything in, throw everything in, get that 98th percentile. I can tell you, you get 98th percentile, you will have 10 options in front of you. It's not that easy, but you get that, then those 10 options work. And I've known several guys who have some iffy acad, and then they get a 98th percentile, and then that gives them so much relief that they go and talk in interviews and nail 2 out of their best 5 colleges, or 3 out of their best 5 colleges. Once they go in there, these are the guys who know that they are the second chancer, and they know that, hey, you are a second chancer, I'm not messing this up. Guy might not be a director's merit list top 10%, top 10 students guy, but he will fight tooth and nail to be in the first 1/3 or 1/4 of the batch. Then you're through, waltzing into a good job. So there's nothing preventing you from being that guy. Prepare and get that 98 percentile. David, at the house, a 99.8, 99.9 percentile different from the 99 percentile during. In some cases, there's no difference. There's just 5 more questions on the day, 10 more questions on the day. Generally, 98.9, 99.9 is super tough. If you look at it slightly differently, then these guys are in the top 100 in the country. Top 100 in anything is special. A top 100 in an academic exam for a country of India's scale and size is super special. So, not top 100, 99.9, maybe top 200, but give or take, we're talking about the very, very, very top notch. That means these guys generally have one section that falls in place in their mind beautifully, magnificently, very intuitively. We are having to look at 20% more, then A gets 20% more than B, and then B gets 20% more than C, and we have tried it as 100 and 120, 100 and 120, then getting 1.1, 1.1, 1.4, and then it just falls in place in their mind that much better, more naturally. So they have that going for them. Several of them are good at cracking the competitive exam. I'm not even sure they're that good in running an organization or being a good manager after they exit. But they generally, 99.8, 99.9 plus, they have a ridiculously well-tuned processor, intellectual capability, the ability to take in new information, process it and come to a conclusion, about 10-20%. That's not the most crucial driver for success in anything, but it is a good asset to have. They generally have that. Normally, just preparing for CAT through self-study. This is Divya Pandey. I'm unable to find how to start a DILR. Best place to start, previous year mocks. After that, some fundamental bit, then amp up the difficulty and variety. Previous year marks to get the benchmark, to know, hey, what is this about? Then go to 0. Start learning basics of DILR. Slowly amp up difficulty and variety. Parth Karbanda, I am indoor getting double marks in Quant and 10 sectional cutoff, not able to touch VA cutoff. Any advice? Read slower, build reading habit from today. Tons of reading. If you're comfortable with Quant, and the big part of your problem is solved. Tons of reading every day. Novel. Hello. I'm hoping that the audio is fine now. Just see this. Hello. Audio is back. Yeah, finally. So I have checked on OBS. I have restarted, rebooted the OBS. Audio is back, audible. Yes, lovely. Super. I think we lost about 15 minutes. We should have ended by now. Such is life. The internet gods and the power gods have not been friendly with us. I will try to not take up too much of your time. I hope we've answered a bunch of questions online. I'll slip into my South Indian mode of speaking really fast so that we can amp up the what we're doing and catch up on last time. We're discussing this thing about for those who have performed badly in their first mocks. We're discussing on chat as well. The first few mocks, be practically agnostic to your scores. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. But don't have the resistance towards taking the mocks, because amping up the mocks and getting them out of the way, taking the mock and handling it and pushing it out, that is super crucial. So don't have this mental block towards taking mocks. Several of the questions you guys are asking are telling me that you want somebody to just take you and push you into the room and say, start the mock now. And so consider this to be that input. Start a mock now, today. If you have the energy, end this session and then start a mock. Take whatever freely available mock is out there. The first mock, the resistance is very high. Get beaten up by mock. Get 20th percentile. It doesn't matter. But get to taking mocks. Taking mocks way better than not taking mocks. Super. So anyone who's not taken a mock so far till today, take one this weekend. There's practically nothing that can move your CAT preparation places than this. This is the most crucial thing. Don't keep deferring that first mock. Don't make that mock bigger and bigger in your mind. The mock. Who cares if you get 30th percentile? Stick it in, get it out of the way. So the first mock is out. Then you can dwell on other things. Psychology related to taking mocks. I'm worried about not scoring well in maths. Don't worry about scoring well in mocks. Mocks don't matter. Mocks simply do not matter. The first 5 or 6 are just for getting the hang of it. You need to get the habit of doing mocks. When you're doing mocks, you'll realize that you feel like dumping a mock midway. You feel like, look, my first section was really good, but my second section is tanking. If I finish this, I know that I won't get 93rd percentile and I want to see a 95. Why should I put myself through this and go and see that 91 and depress myself? I'll stop now. You shouldn't depress yourself. You shouldn't take your mock score that seriously. You should not stop. Taking mocks builds first and foremost the habit of taking mock. And then your improvement, your analysis, your where your strength and weakness, your understanding of your goals, they all come into play. But they can all kick in and they can all come into play only if you've taken a bunch of mocks. So don't stop. Don't make the idea of the first mock or the first few mocks bigger than they need to be. Hang in there, but take the mock. This is Shivam. Pratash, how do I revise Quant? Don't push revision right to the end. Don't say I'll cover every topic. I'll cover 20 topics and then go and start from topic 1 for revision. If you need to, there's a spiraling attitude to learning. Learn topics 1, 2, 3, 4, revisit 1, 2. Add 5, 6, 7, revisit 3, 4. Add 9, 10, 11, revisit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Therefore, you consolidate on the way. You keep getting comfortable with topics. Otherwise, ideas fly out. You can't expect to do percentages in January and then come back in June and expect everything to be at the top of your head. It doesn't work like that. So revising and revisiting is part of the learning process. So iterate extensively. Otherwise, you'll come back and you'll feel like, I thought I had 12 topics in my bag and I have nothing. But preparation it's all gone to the docs. It's not all gone to the docs. Don't defer that revision part and say, look, everything should be in my mind even after I revisit. Even if I revisit after 6 months, it won't be. You need 3, 4 iterations for things to just go and sit in long-term memory and the topic completely consolidated. So do revisit frequently. Anvesha Pal Chaudhary, I'm weak in VRC, what should I do? Tons of reading. Easiest fix and the toughest fix. Easiest as an input to give. What should you do? Read a lot. Tough because if you don't have the reading habit, building that reading habit and taking in tons of reading, that is super tough. Get on to Bharat's reading list today. Pick up a good novel, good magazine, good blog, and keep at it. It'll fall in place, have the faith, but put in the hours of reading. Atarshas, can I start preparing for CAT 22 from now on? Definitely, by all means. Learn from fundamentals. Pick up the reading habit. Curious about solving different puzzles. Keep an eye out for the chatter. You don't need to prepare with super discipline, super routine starting today, but do the groundwork. Take some practice exam, take a mock. To have a good reading list, build the habit of learning and solving puzzles. It'll all fall in place slowly. You have the luxury of time. So get yourself geared to learning now and prepare with a proper plan maybe from November or January. Anmol Saxena, wouldn't having no extracurricular activities or any, I don't even know, position of responsibility, I'm assuming, affect my interviews negatively? Interviews are a further 3 months away from CAT, my friend. Several times we take our extracurricular activities too seriously, the guys who have them. And the guys are the guy sitting at the interview. If you're a national player for chess, he's interested. But if you came third in sub-zonal championship in chess, not interested. You need to showcase that you have a personality. You need to showcase that you are beyond your numbers and facts. You need to showcase that you have a couple of things to talk about passionately. You can hold a conversation, be engaging and entertaining. All of these are useful if you have done a couple of hobbies and pushed them through and taken them to beautiful levels of completion. If you have, and you have held positions of responsibility in crucial things, you've learned something from there. You've taken a hobby beyond a certain level. That's brilliant. And every year I have students who have that. We had about 3 years ago. We had a marathon runner. He had a long-term ailment, but he was managing that and he was a marathon runner. Now, 60% of his interviews, if he did 10 interviews, 6 were about marathon running. And he wouldn't even mention that he had any ailment. He would just talk about marathon running. He was used to running 5-6 marathons a year. And that's something to talk about. Good. Another of our students was a photographer. She was a seriously good, seriously involved photographer. And it's an automatic topic to talk to. Very easy. And you speak for 6 minutes, you'll know that he actually shot those many. She knows the entire gamut of things. Now, if I'm an interviewer, I like talking about that. So if you have a serious spike, it helps. Otherwise, all of these amount for nothing. And so it's a talking point in an interview. So don't overestimate that. About 5-10% of candidates have that. The remaining 90%, if they can showcase that they're sensible, smart, and have some balance in their life without the freakishly unusual spike, they're still good. I had no position of, I was a placement representative and a placement secretary. I played in the football team. I was captain of the bridge team. But no one single extracurricular facet of mine was seriously good to have a conversation on. But the mixture of all this said, look, this guy is engaged in some basic things. None of my interviews focused on any of my extracurriculars. They didn't. But it's all right. They're not going to hold that against you. So don't think that you're walking in with a huge baggage just because you don't have notional extracurricular activities that you think several others do. About 5-10% of candidates have something seriously good going for them. The rest of us are not inferior. We just not built that one thing. Maybe because we're interested in 4 things and not just one thing. What should be an average time to finish a book? Like does reading speed matter? Reading speed matters. If you read a Secret 7, it can get over an hour. If you read Atlas Shrugged, it will take 3 weeks. It depends on the book actually. The habit of hanging in there and completing a book and seeing it through to completion, that is crucial. How many words per minute? Doesn't matter. Next question. I've converted I am Kashipur. Should I join this or retake CAT? Intensely personal decision state. Where you come from, how confident are you of preparing for CAT once again and scoring same percentile or much better? Which kind of job you have, what is it paying right now? All those things matter. Keep all those variables in mind and then have a go. Sushant Marti, am I too late to start? Most definitely no. We're having a live session saying, hey, what are the elements to do? If people couldn't start now, it would be absurd to have a live session to say how to plan your preparation. You can start now, you can start 3 weeks from now and still have enough time. With every passing week, every passing month, the risk goes up. There's no buffer. You can't have a 3-week lull. You can't get severely engaged in doing something else. You can't say next 2 months I'm going to spend on finding a job for myself. Those things become trickier. So you're going to be a tight preparation schedule, but is there enough time? Definitely yes. Arafan, sorry, I started reading after Bharadwaj sir suggested. Yes, good. I can now solve questions based on theme of passage, but some specific inference-based questions is troubling me a lot. Look, you've got the hang of it. Keep at it. Have the faith. You've even seen the evidence of it working for you. Keep the faith. Hang in there. All sorts of critical reasoning questions will start falling in place. The last lap, you'll have to get more involved in reducing the error rate, improving the accuracy, going through the answer choices in reading comprehension, figuring out mechanisms of resolving that B or C in the last 2 choices. You do all that, you get even better, but you're very well on the way to getting there. Does gap year hinder during placement, especially for marketing companies? Mesh Patnaik, a good CV will offset everything else. You have a good academic record in the IIM or in your B school, that will offset pretty much everything else. So if you have done well, with every passing extra year of credentializing, whatever happened in the past becomes more in the past. Therefore, if you do well in CAT, you get into a good B school, you have good CGPA for 2 years. The guy's going to look at all this and say, okay, so you had a gap year, what after your 12th and UG 10 years ago, I don't care. Or you're not even going to process that. So there are ways and means of offsetting this. They're not crucial input metrics for your final placement. They're not. Anirudh Goyal, I'm scoring 95th percentile, which is very good. What should I do to increase my score? See which section can give you massive advantage. If it is all 3, amp up intensity, build fundamentals, have practice, do tons of max. There's no silver bullet, but all of this put together will improve the score. That much I can tell you. How much can improve and tackle the difficult words in RC? Some of the words seem to be very difficult even to pronounce. You don't need to pronounce. This is Sajal Gupta. Vocab building, hard booting vocab is a fool's errand. You add to 1,500 words, you feel really good about yourself and say, look, the 1,500 words that I didn't know 6 months ago, that I do know now. Chances are 6 months from now, you'll remember 150 of those. That is because you've read them in some other context. Read a lot. Your mind starts building mechanisms of figuring out what words mean without us really processing it. It is super crucial. Subconsciously figuring out meaning and context without knowing the meaning of each word, the life skill set. And you keep doing that, you will realize that your vocabulary is amping up. And your need for your vocabulary to be great is going down. You can still do very well without having a great vocabulary. So don't worry about building vocab. Priya Udania, how to be consistent in CAT prep? You tell me. Stick to a schedule, stick to a discipline, draw boundaries. Say, look, I'm not going to touch my phone or social media during these time slots. I'm not going to touch the phone or the computer during these time windows. I'm simply not going near any entertainment on a Saturday without doing 2.5 hours of CAT prep. Have hard boundaries. It helps, and build the discipline to have that. How should I improve my percentile if I'm stuck at the same level, especially in VRC? If you're at 99, then improving from there is both difficult and easy. Easy because you know most of the game. You need to hang in there and have faith. Difficult because the last half a percentile is the toughest. Going from 99 to 99.5 is tough. 99.5 to 99.99 is super tough. Your competition is that much more intense. But all the tricks that they've taken you to 99 will hold good. Read a lot. Work on resolving that 1 in 2 issues. Work on amping up accuracy. Work on leaving that stinker question. Work on selecting the passage better. Go towards finer details from board themes. It should work. Arvind Prakash, how do you manage to have a smile on your face? This is programmed, my friend. I'm on YouTube. I'm having a chat. I'm having a laugh. You should see me when my daughter is driving me mad. Will CAT 2021 be a 2-hour exam or 3-hour exam? So God only knows. I don't know whether the IIMs have made up their mind yet. So you don't know. 85% in my CAT, however, 2 years gap. I'm sure I'll clear CAT this year. Will my gap year create a problem? If you clear CAT with a good score, then you will have a chance to sit there on the interview table and then ask you, hey, why is there a 2-year gap, sir? I prepared for JE and then this happened and then that happened, didn't work. Or I prepared for UPSC, then I was looking for a job. It simply didn't come because of the pandemic. I said, look, instead of waiting, I'll try to prepare for CAT. So here I am. You get a chance to explain if you get a good CAT percentile. Get that good CAT percentile and then grab the chance. Is there many sources to read for actually building VRC? The whole damn internet is available. Tons of books, tons of blogs, tons of articles, beautifully curated list from Bharadwaj, a bunch of videos to tell you what to read, when to read, how to read, all from 2IM. So go for that. Mohammad Ghaz Ali, I've been working for 3 years now, but want to switch careers, so I'm planning to do my MBA. Is it right time to go for CAT 2021? Definitely. I forgot most of what I had studied. 3+ work is 3 years, my friend. 3 years. When I finished my MBA in 2003, still taking CAT. 3 years is nothing. Don't tell yourself that they're asking you to remember that down 20% is 0.8 of X. They're not asking you to remember it. They're asking you to relearn it, reprocess it, bring it all back. 3 years is nothing. I've had students who've had a 7-year. I've had GMAT students who've had 16-year gap. They've been an army soldier for 12 years. There's anybody who has a legitimate claim to saying, look, I'm not in touch with my math, it's those guys. And they generally come back, have their curiosity, jump back and divert it. 3 years is nothing. Not a legitimate excuse. Go for it. Sir, I've got placed in engineering with 10 lakh package. Should I prepare, continue? Definitely. Definitely. You set out on this MBA journey because you said, look, I can demand more out of myself. You're in a 10 lakh job, still demand more out of yourself and say, look, 10 lakh job, 2 years later, it will be 13, 14 lakhs. If I have to be meaningful jump from there on, I need to have an even better job so I can really have a shot only if I get 99.5. Prepare to get 99.5. It might not work, but at least you're going for it. Araf Ansari, I've been preparing from Nishit K. Sinha. Sometimes I get stuck in some questions. It does happen. Sometimes the trick when you go for your mocks is to pick the right questions and then to draw a line and say, hey, this is not working, I'll try something. Both are crucial. That you will get once you start taking mocks. Asta Gupta, I'm taking my first attempt, scoring between 85 and 89%. If you're scoring between 85 and 89 now, good place. Now you have 5 more months of preparation, a bunch of mocks to amp up, and a few tricks to add along the way. Going to 98, very much possible. Keep at it, have the faith. Is it possible to crack CAT exam in 5 months? Adarsh Gupta, definitely yes. I think we're reaching a point where we've pretty much covered all the question. Chetan Kadu, I'm accurate but very slow in VRC section. How should I improve it? Don't compromise on accuracy. You're getting almost everything correct in VRC. That's phenomenal. Generally, VRC is a section where time pressure is not immense. The 34 questions for an hour. You leave out this para-jumble sentence elimination. 24 in in RC is the crucial thing. Generally, most people have time to think about 18, 19. You're very slow, you attempt 16 and you get 15 right, you'll be 99.5 5 percentile plus. Accuracy is the holy grail. Don't sacrifice that for speed, especially in VRC. Joshua KS, I got 80 percentile in my CAT attempt last year. I'm a working professional. How many hours of preparation per day would you recommend? 400 hours overall. Whether it's a per day basis or a per week basis, is weekday or weekend, that is left to you. How to improve RC and vocabulary? Hrithik Baduri, read tons of stuff. Vocabulary and RC will improve simultaneously, in step, and really well. Solving 3 in 8 sets accurately for DILR fetches 95. Oh, if the DILR is anything to go by based on the last 3-4 years, it is good enough to get 98 percentile for sure. Rockstar start. If you go to 4, then it's 99 point something. If I leave LOD 3 questions in Quant, can I score 99 plus percentile? This is Madhav Upadhyay, most definitely. Any discount on VRC section course for CAT? We do run periodic discount. We're right now running a discount right now. We're running it for the overall course. For the part course, drop us an email. We'll be able to help you. How to improve focus while attempting mocks, especially VRC, while switching from one RC to other, the focus decreases. Oh, it shouldn't. Sometimes a bag of tricks. Sometimes stamina building happens when you're taking a bunch of mocks. Sometimes you're going from one thing to another. You see your concentration dropping. Then some artificial markers really help. So stretch your hand out, take a deep breath, refocus. Spending that 5 seconds to switch on the brain, again, that's very useful. Cricketers take guard whenever there's a new bowler. Cricketers take guard all over again after drinks break or tea break. Footballers pause and take deep breaths. So you need to create a mechanism for your brain to reboot. It could be something physical, something moving your hands, thinking out, looking out and coming back in, refocusing consciously. Do something, it should work. How to kickstart DILR, because it is the conventional portion oriented section, right? So this is Ruba Subed Karthik. The best place to start to get a hang of the topic is previous year CAT papers. Take our YouTube channel, there are tons of them available. So address that, have a go at that. Then start from scratch. Know what the level is, then start from scratch, from zero. Wonderful, guys. I'm going to sign off pretty much now. I think we've gone way beyond our original idea of 50 minutes. We lost 15 minutes to the power failure. But even then, I think we've covered pretty much everything that we wanted to cover. Shomesh Krishnan, I've started preparation June 1st. At what time should I go for full mock test? Today. You have the energy today. If you're very tired at the end of this session, which you shouldn't be. If you're very tired at the end of this session, tomorrow. Saket Prakash, I followed your reading list and it really helped me. It has helped me as well. Many thanks to Bharat. I must confess that I don't read all the articles. I sometimes don't have the time. Sometimes I tell myself I don't have time. Some of the articles are too long. And I like the fact that they're too long. I'm not complaining. But sometimes I just get occupied with something else. The articles are fantastic. Bharat has done a phenomenal job. Even internally, we are immensely thrilled and proud of the fact that he's been at it for so long and the quality hasn't dropped 1 inch. It is phenomenally well received as well. So there is a positive energy about the whole thing. But it's a fabulous list. You guys should read everything that he throws up. CFA L1 preparation, is it possible with CAT preparation for an engineering graduate? It's tight. You're going to have CFA, especially if you're working. Working CFA and CAT could be tight. Afraid of VRC and DILR, how to approach them? Do DILR puzzles to get the level. For VRC, keep reading. Keep the faith. I'm going to wind up now. I think we've covered pretty much everything or most of the questions. Do ping us with questions and comments. We're going to have a video series on YouTube all the way from now till the exam. We have tons of questions lined up. I think internally for July, we want to do about close to 75-80 videos on different things. Majority of them teaching videos, solving Quant or LRDI or verbal. But we have a content coming at a breakneck speed over the next 3 months. We're going to be with you guys every step of the journey. So please do your bit. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, spread the word about us. Tell people, look guys, you guys need to just go to this channel. There are 1,000 questions available for free without paying a rupee or signing up or giving your email or phone number. We need nothing. Come to our YouTube channel, take value from it. Then please drop us an email saying, hey, this was wonderfully useful, good effort by you guys. That we like. But we don't take anything in terms of dollar terms or in terms of login, user ID and your email address and phone number. We wouldn't know what to do with it anyway. And so do check out the course. Do make sure that you have a shot at availing this fabulous offer now. We offer about 4 to 5 live classes every week from now on till the exam. A wonderfully tight live classes schedule. We do tons of teaching on tons of coursework inside the online platform. What you can learn online inside the platform is 3x, 4x, 5x more than what there in the question bank and what the live course offers. It's put together very nicely in a wonderful UI. Those of you who have not checked it out, you should take time out and check it out. It could be the 20 minutes, best spend 20 minutes of your CAT preparation journey. I'm not kidding. I'm actually very proud of the fact that the course sits well. There's a certain flow and structure to it. We've actually sat and thought brick by brick, we have built it. So you should try it out and spread the word about us. Tell people to come to the YouTube channel and tell them that, hey, these guys make sense, and if they don't make sense, at least they're not cocky about it. And they have fun during the preparation. They make sure that students have fun as well. Lovely. Can we reach, last question, Harsh Bharadwaj, can we reach from 50th percentile to 99 plus in 5 months? Definitely yes. I'm saying you have a shot at this exam. I'm saying you have a shot at 98, 99%. 99.9, that could be unusual. 98, very much more. And does 2IIM conduct mocks? Most definitely yes. We have a mock product which is pretty good. Check that out. Again, it's freely available. Sample is freely available, not the mock itself, mock course itself. Check that out. Do ping us. We'll be able to give you the details and location, all of that. Wonderful, folks. Lovely to catch up. It's unfortunate that the power supply in our place didn't help us and hindered us for a good 15 minutes. We're doing things with the chat, so I guess it's still all right. Many wishes to you guys to go who are thinking about starting on this journey. It's going to be fun. Do prepare with a sense of curiosity with you and sense of joy with you. It's not this horrendously tough exam. It is not a freakishly stressful exam. It is an exam with uncertain outcomes. Accept that and go for the ride. It should be fun. Best wishes.